hello. I think we are live. Hello, you guys. How are we doing? How are we feeling? Today is what? What's today? Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. How are you feeling? How are you doing? I hope that you guys are having an amazing day. It's about 12:15 Eastern Standard Time, and you are live with Dr. Dale and the weekly Pulse Check. Pulse check. What does that mean? So I come on here every Wednesday, depending on what it is, unless I have an engagement or something. So every Wednesday at 12:15 Eastern Standard Time, I am here giving you guys value and talking about the importance of emotional intelligence in your life. Yes. I'm talking about emotional intelligence in your life. That's what I'm all about. For those that don't know me, I am Dr. Dale Laing-Hall. I am your human resources expert. Been human resources for like 15 years plus. I think I stopped counting after 15. And I've decided a couple years ago to pursue my doctorate in emotional intelligence, right? And how that can benefit you, me, us, life. It has helped me. It continues to help me. It continues to help all of the clients that I talk to, and it continues to help thousands others. Go do your research. Emotional intelligence, it's where it's at. Okay, it's where it's at. If you're looking for data and you're looking to see the importance of it and if you should even care about it, I'm going to send you to do your homework because, like any teacher, I'm a teacher at heart. So, with any teacher, they're going to tell you here the information. They're going to give you the word and they may give you the definition, but they're going to send you to do some homework. So, that's what I'm doing for you guys because I care about you guys. I want you guys to do your homework. So, there you go. That's your call of action for now. There's more. So, today the conversation is very near and dear to my heart. There is, first of all, I just came back from an amazing, I'm not going to say vacation because it wasn't a vacation, but it was a vacation. It was a vacation, but it wasn't a vacation. I came back from my hometown, Honduras, which is Honduras, Central America, in Roatán. So Roatán is where in the island where I'm from, born and raised, proudly. Every single time that I'm away from there, I'm like, yeah, I don't need to go back. Then when I go back, I was like, I can't leave. I can't leave. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. I think we're live on Facebook, we're live on LinkedIn, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Insta. So yeah. So what does I want to talk about today? So again, I said today's a very near and dear topic to my heart of hearts, and I'll give more on what I've learned or what, because everywhere I go and every single thing that I do, I got to be learning something, right? If you know anything about me and you go to my website, dalereports.com, you will see that one of my values, one of my core values is continuous learning, always growing. What's next? What are you doing? How are you leveling up, right? And as you level up intellectually, you level up in the money. And you level up in how you present yourself. And then what happens? You send the elevator back down to bring others with you, right? You don't want to, some people say, it's lonely on top. Well, it's lonely on top because you didn't bring nobody with you. You got to bring people with you, right? You got to make sure that you reach back and you help those so that they can come up with you and be right there with you because, right, it's better when it's in a community, when you're in a community, right? So the conversation today, it's about feel that emotion with love, right? Whatever that emotion is that you're feeling, feel it with love. If you're feeling hate right now, feel it with love. Like Dr. Dale will never ever tell you don't address that emotion, don't feel that, ignore it, um, cover it up, pretend that you don't feel that way. Like, I'm gonna ask a question. This is my question for you guys today. What is your emotion? The fact that you're not addressing how you feel about a particular situation or a thing, what is that costing you? Because it's costing you something. You're ignoring how you feel about a person. You're pretending that you like this person when you don't like this person, or that you do like them and you're pretending like you don't like them. Like, that's costing you something, right? You're pretending that you like this job. How long can you fake it? How long can you fake your feelings? How long? Because I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't very long. It's not very long, because one thing the human being wants to do more than anything else, and that is to express themselves and be all that they can be and just be their authentic, naked self. That is one thing the human being wants to always do: be themselves with whoever, whatever they're doing, whoever they're with. They want to be themselves. Christy, um, hi, LA Law. No, Law 305. I hope I said that right. So, yeah, don't judge how I called your username there. Judge my heart. That's, because it's coming from a place of love. So, how are you? What is it that you're suffocating? Because you're pretty much like suffocating yourself, right? For not feeling that way, or, no, I'm not going to feel this way about that or that group or that thing. What what is it that you are costing yourself? Because you're costing yourself something, right? I'll give myself an example. When I was at, let's talk about workplace, right? Let's talk about workplace, right? Because I mean, human resources. Um, it, I was at this job for, a period of time, and I was pretending, I was saying to myself, I can stay here and I can help and I can do this like forever, I can do this for a long time. I like helping people and doing this and doing that and giving back my knowledge and learning. I'm learning and I'm growing. That's what I was saying to myself, right? And I was saying that because I didn't want it became, after a while, after like 3 years in, I figured out, man, I looked around, I was like, I'm not growing no more. And again, my core value, emotional intelligence tells you, if your core value is always learning and growing and leveling up and making sure that you are keeping your brain active and growing, and you're at this job for 3 years, um at some point you're no longer staying true to your values, right? You're staying true to the job, to the boss, to everybody else, and you have a great relationship with everybody. And the ones that you don't have a great relationship, you can overlook them because you don't deal with them all the time. But at some point, I had to stop myself at that job and say, okay, it looks like I've capped out. It looks like, let us call it what it is, right? Let's call spades a spades. On here we speak the truth. We show up as our best self, but we speak the truth. And the truth is, I was no longer happy. Everybody else was happy with me because I was giving value to them, to their department, to how I was helping the team, but nobody no longer was giving value to me. So I had to pick and choose. It's time for me to move on. I had to do that for myself because I called my feelings, hey, I'm calling you out. You're right. I'm not growing. So I stopped ignoring how I truly felt on the inside about that job, and I decided to do something about it, right? So that's your question. I always leave you guys with a question, a quote, or something, right? To keep you thinking. So that's your question for today. What is the fact that you're not addressing how you feel, how you really feel about a particular situation or a person? What is it costing you? And while I was there at that job, it cost me time. It caused me like time that I could not get back. It caused me opportunities, opportunities that people suggested or said to me, and I was like, no, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good at I'm good doing what I'm doing, whatnot. Because it was easy. It was, I was, and I have to, you know what, to be honest with you, I fought the hard life, not the hard life, but to say, I fought leveling up because every single time you grow, you're no longer comfortable performing here. You have to, yeah, I can't do that no more. I got to go to the next level, right? So I called my feelings out and I felt what that emotion was. And I said to myself, it's time to me to go to the next level with love, right? And I wasn't like hard on myself, which is where the love part comes in. You don't have to be hard on yourself with what you're going through every single day. You know what? Give yourself grace, give yourself space, give yourself a place, right? Give yourself that time to say, okay. And when I look back and all that, what I realized that I was losing by staying there at that job, I look back and I said to myself, God dang, I could have been doing this new thing so much more longer and with more passion because this is what I love. Like, I love talking about emotional intelligence. I can talk about this stuff all day, every day, right? Because this is what excites me, right? And, it moves me. And I have so much impactful experiences that contributes to it, you know? So, and when I talk to other people with it, they're able to see that this is what moves me, right? If you're not moving in the direction of what your passion is, then are you really moving or are you stagnant, right? And anything that's stagnant stinks. Anything that is stagnant and, water that is sitting, a pothole that is sitting for a while and it has water in it, it stinks, right? And nobody wants to be around it, right? You want to empty it out, you want to get rid of it, you just don't want to be a part of it. So that's what this conversation is about. That's one part. The other part is, I said today was a special day. We are like 15 minutes in. Today was a special day, is a special day. Today marks a year. And I said that I worked in corporate America. For those that don't know, I worked in corporate America, for 20 plus years, but I've been in HR for like 15 years. And the beginning of this year, I decided to walk away from my 9 to 5 per se, right? And when I did that, before I did that, and I think that this is why, certain things happen and you just have to listen to who and what it is that's truly inside of you and what's going on, right? Um, I hired this executive assistant that I had back in 2021, 2022 or something like that. And she was only with me. I hired her, and I'm going to say this for all the HR people out there, all the human resources people out there. If you look at somebody's resume and they don't look like they have the exact experience in terms of the title that you are looking for, I'm not going to say write them off, right? I'm going to say have a conversation with them. I'm going to say give them the opportunity to prove to you why they think that they fit this position, if you can, right? And that's what happened with this person. Her the executive, she moved from Alabama, sorry, Alabama, to come to Florida to work with me because she said she always wanted to be in HR, and she's never had the opportunity to, right? So I gave her a chance and I allowed her to prove herself, and she did, right? So she wasn't the HR, the executive assistant, partly executive assistant of mine, right? Because I was a chief human resources officer, and then the majority of her role was service and be there and help the support of the entire HR team. So payroll, benefits, recruiting, employee relations, all of that stuff, right? And she excelled at it. She really did. And she did it with such grace, smile. She was, those people, when you have the best customer service, somebody just like gave you more than what you asked for. That was her. You came to the HR front desk. She greeted you with a smile. She was like, what you need. She had candy there. She had the sweet smelling incense. She had like because you have to cater to all of the senses, right? The smell, this what you see, what you hear. We had like a little waterfall thingy there that she had put up front. And she just created this, with me, we created this really nice environment for people to want to come and share or give or, address their needs, right? And unfortunately, she was only with us, and she wasn't even with us for a long time. She was only ended up being with us for like 9, 10 months. And it was the most crucial and impactful 10 months that I needed as part of my career. And she was there to help me through that. I was going through a very difficult time and the role that I was in, and she was there every step of the way, not only professionally, but also personally. So this person came from an employee, became a friend, and to this day I will call her family. And unfortunately, she died, right? And this is where the loss, going through loss is such a hard thing. And emotional intelligence can help you with that, right? EQ is the same thing as emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, right? EQ, EI, same thing, emotional intelligence. It can guide others. It can guide you to understand your feelings, to develop coping strategies, right? Help you build strong support systems, embrace empathy, self-awareness, interpersonal skills, you know, being able to find healing and growth within that loss. And I figured out something as well, because I was like boohoo crying, and I think I even shared on my TikTok a year to the date. If you guys go and look me up, Dr. Dale Reports on TikTok, you see I was like crying, like tears coming down, because it was a shock. One, it was unexpected, and she was just missing from work one day, and we only missed her for 30 minutes. We're like, she ain't here yet. That's not like her, because she was always on time, never late, right? Never. She showed up every single day, except when she decided to go to Africa and marry her fiance. That was a whole thing, you guys. Um, so and unfortunately, that's what happened. And when we decided, saw that she was missing, what did we do? We did a wellness check ASAP, right? We reached out to her emergency contact. We reached out to we knew where she was staying, the landlord and whatnot, and had them go and check her apartment. And if it wasn't for that, only Jesus knows how long she would have probably been there, because she wasn't with life when we found her. So it wasn't only me that lost. My entire HR team of 15 people lost, had a lost. So you think we could have just business as usual the next day? As an emotionally intelligent person that is still growing and never get it, I don't get it right all the time. What I did was, we were work I was the company, we're working mental health company, and what do you think we did? We had therapists, we had psychologists, counselors come and talk to us, come and talk to them, right? So that they can share how they were feeling, what they were going through, and all of that stuff. And so I even had like a big gathering with the team, and we just shared all of our happy moments. We did like a whole slide, and we had like eating on her behalf, like the whole thing, and just shared different stories about her. And it was so good. So good. It was needed. because we couldn't just go from one day to the next. You got to address those emotions and how you're feeling. If you don't do that, I mean, you're human. We are human, and being, human resources, we got to keep the human in humanity, right? I was feeling that way, and I just put myself in their shoes. I'm like, man, they used to work with her on everything. So they're going through it too. So why wouldn't I want to address what they were going through? And so you can use this in your own life. Like like you can't get away navigating loss and of a loved one, and it's undeniably the one of the hardest and most challenging emotional experiences a person can face, right? And emotional intelligence plays a crucial role and how the how such times and how helping you go through that grief and manage your emotions and the resilience and just coming out stronger. And I'll tell you one thing I learned throughout this entire process, going through that loss, right? Or any loss, I had to stop focusing on the loss. I'll let that sink in for a little bit. I had to stop thinking about what we lost, what I lost. That's the selfishness speaking, right? And I had to focus on the life that she lived. It wouldn't be fair to her for me to just focus on the death today when she gave me a whole life. She gave us her life. She shared that with us, the interactions, the relationships, the connections, the hugs and the kisses and the laughter and the feedback and the criticism and the madness and going through projects and yelling and the screaming. She gave us all of that, and we shared all of that. Like, she would tell me, hey, because he used to call me Elizabeth, my middle name. She's like, Elizabeth, you missed this, or you didn't do this, or you said this, but you're doing this, so which one is it? Like, she would check me on stuff like that, and I appreciated that so much because it kept me real, right? It kept me how I show up, right? So, and it was a vice versa situation, and I welcome my entire team. I'm like, if you guys see something, I'm like, one thing I always I always used to tell them that I'm terrible at. I'm not an on time person. I need you guys to help me in this year. I used to say, help me this year to be more of an on time. But like, I want to be more on time. Like, I have meetings scheduled with you guys, for each one of you guys, for different things. Help me be on time, right? Call me out on it, right? And when they started doing that, I was like, okay, I may have been in my feelings a time or two, but what do you think I did? I womaned up and owned what I asked them to do. And to be honest with you, they're right on, spot on. That's as real can get, right? It doesn't matter the position, the title. Like, I welcome them to do that and vice versa, because they're helping me grow. I'm helping them grow. We help each other grow. And that's how we get closer to the top together, right? And not only professionally, but personally. Personally, right? Personally is where you have your emotions, where you have your kids, your mom, your dad, and the love that you have for them, right? How you show up every single day. That's where you have them, right? So emotional intelligence helped me to stop focusing on the loss but focus on the life, right? Because it wouldn't be fair to her and it wouldn't be fair to me when we lived a whole ASS life together. We shared a whole life together, right? So why would you want to focus on that? It gives to you. So that's the angle that I'm in, the mindset that I'm coming at this with, right? Supporting, someone, maybe a loved one shares with you how they're feeling about a particular situation, about a loss or something, instead of ignoring their emotions, acknowledge them, recognize them, right? Support them, reach out to them, let them know that you're here, that you hear them, that you see them, that you feel them, right? And an outlet that was for me was journaling, writing it out, writing out how I felt. That's a tip. Do it. It works. It sounds, and I know that you guys sometimes, I was on the other end of this before, right? And I know sometimes you hear these tips and these strategies and you like, that doesn't work. It works. I'm only giving you what worked for me, and I'm asking you, take a chance and see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. But you got to give it a fair chance, right? So that's the self-awareness part. Acknowledge what you're feeling. Acknowledge and feel what you feel. Feel it. Go through it. You have to do that, right? Otherwise, how are you going to ever become emotionally intelligent? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it if you do not feel what you're feeling? You have to feel it. But Dr. Dale says feel it with love, with some sauce of love on there. That's what Dr. Dale says. And when you feel it with love, then you're not cursing, you're not using profanity, you're not disrespecting anybody, you're not hurting anybody, you're not using discouraging words. You are only hurting, right? You're not hurting yourself. You are simply emotionally hurt, down, sad at this time. Because one thing for sure about emotions, about feelings, is that they're not facts. Your facts are not feelings, and your feelings are not fact. What does that mean? That means that they're not permanent. You can't, they don't stay. What you feel today or at this moment, when I went through the loss of that friend of mine, that coworker, when I had that loss, oh, it's the worst feeling ever. I'm not even going to talk about, going through the loss of a parent or a friend, or I mean, or a family member, right? A kid, a child, like that loss, I can't even imagine, right? What I can relate to is the loss, and if this hurt, and this person wasn't even a blood of mine, oh, my heart goes out for everybody else that have lost so much more, right? And no loss is bigger than one other loss. Like, loss is loss. Simple as that. Loss is a loss. And when I was going through that, I had to focus and say, speak to myself and say, I can't focus on this loss. I have to focus on this life. So I felt what I felt for days, weeks, right? And I didn't feel the position right away. I think I waited like a month before I felt the position. My supervisor was like, they couldn't even ask. I don't think they even asked me. I just didn't feel it. I was like, no, I don't want to hear nothing about filling a position right now. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Because, but with time heals all wounds. It's a true saying. It heals it, doesn't cure it. There's a difference. If you get cut here on your arm, eventually you take care of it, it's going to heal. The cut is not going to be open, it's not going to be blood spilling and all that stuff, but the scar will still be there. And if the scar is still there, what happens? Every time you look at it, you're going to remember that loss. You're going to remember that hurt. You're going to remember that pain, right? Because it's no longer present. It's the past. But when you think about it, it's just like you go right back there again, right? But if the wound is no longer open, you know, you're not physically feeling that loss right now. I'm remembering her. I'm honoring her because it's been a year, right? And It has even pushed me to help other people going through exactly the same thing. So that's what I wanted this conversation to be about, to kind of remind each and every single one of you how emotional intelligence can help you guys be the best version of you in all states of your life, whatever it is you're going through. You know, if you're happy, it goes there with you. If you're down in the ditch, it goes there with you and it stays there with you. Emotional intelligence says, let's feel, let's stay in and ponder and just do some introspection, see how you feel on the inside, just have some self-care, do some self-care. That's what emotional intelligence say. Take some time for yourself, right? Emotional intelligence says give, be empathetic, have compassion, right? See it from other people's perspective, offer words of comfort. That's what emotional intelligence says. It says hold space, right? Hold the space, the grace, and the place for yourself and other people. And then, of course, it says resilience and adaptability. Adapt to what the situation is, but adapt with time. You can't go from 0 to 1,000. You got to go from 0, maybe 5, maybe 10, right? Gradually get there to that 1,000, right? Using EQ skills help me to remain adaptable, right, to the situation. But I had to heal to go through, I had to do my journaling. I had to express my emotions. I had to allow other people to do it as well. And slowly, as I got it out, slowly I healed. And the pain wasn't as terrible as it was the first day. And I use that with anything in life, right? Yeah, it's probably hurt right now that that boyfriend broke your heart today. But as you heal with time, you're not gonna feel that pain as you felt it the very first day when you found out that he cheated on you, right? With time, you're gonna you're gonna be better. You're gonna, even eventually you're gonna look back on it and say, man, that was painful as hell. Would you want to go through it again? Probably not. But I bet you're glad you went through it because now you are more cognizant, more purposeful in the guys that you date, right? You know what you don't want. You know what you want. But unfortunately, this is life, you guys. And we have to go through this stuff in order for us to become more mature and wise and all of it. And I'll give you guys a tip. Learn from other people's mistakes. They're not mistakes, okay? I call mistakes and errors and all that stuff now clarifying moments, okay? So I am welcoming you to come with me to learn from other people's clarifying moments. So that way, when they get clarified on something, you're like, oh, that's what happened to you? Okay, so when I take this test now, I'm gonna make sure that I study 6 months and not 2 months. I'm gonna study a little bit longer because I noticed that when you took it, you didn't pass it the first time. So now you thought you didn't need to study. I know I need to study based on what I know and based on what I saw that happened with you. That's just an example, right? Use other people's clarifying moments to decide what you do next. So that's what I have for you guys today. That's the cup of tea and the conversation. Just 30 minutes. We're not here for a long time. We are only here for a short time, but we're here for a good time, right? So I want to leave you guys with that. Feel that emotion, feel it with love, whatever it is. Emotional intelligence is your answer. You got to address them. Don't ignore it, address it. Address it by acknowledging how you feel, address it by giving yourself the space, the grace, and the place, right? And giving it to others, right? And when you give it to yourself first and you give it to others, then it's become like a no-brainer. You're like, yeah, I get it. Girl, I know what you're coming from. I know. Yeah, I've been cheated on before too. You understand, right? You understand because you've been there. So that's why it's important for you not only to give the grace to yourself, extend that hand to somebody else, right? Extend that hand to somebody else. And as I always, next week, and before I get out of here, and my brain fog and getting up too late today from my trip, um, I want to leave you guys next week. Next week, we're going to have the round table again with all of the amazing ladies. I think we're going to have be joined by three or four of them. So we're going to talk about conversations in the workplace, right? And their experiences and how we're going to start having that a lot more, but we're starting slow, and we're starting slow. So it's so far it's gonna be every Wednesday, last Wednesday of the month, sorry, last Wednesday of the month so far, and we're gonna bring those beautiful ladies, have this conversation again because the conversation was so juicy when we had it about 2 3 weeks ago, right? With the roundtable workplace conversations. If you guys want to hear that, that was a really good. It was an hour, and it's on my YouTube. You guys can go there and see it, and it will help, it will add value to you, it would add value to you, so go check it out. Okay, go check it out. So thank you guys for joining, and as I always end, like I always end all of my lives, you know that feeling that you get when you have you like you breathe in and you sigh. That feels good, right? And you think about everything is at peace, everybody's doing what they have to do, you don't have to worry about tomorrow. You're flying in the air like a feather, light as a feather. Everything and everyone is as it should be, and everything and everyone is as they will be. That feeling, you guys, is called love. And I welcome you to give that to yourself and everybody else around you today. Today. Okay? So thank you guys for stopping by and having this weekly pulse check with Dr. Dale. This was great as usual. This was therapy for me. I hope it was therapy for you. Thank you guys for joining. Feel free to share, like, comment, share, and just chat, how you feel about this conversation that we had today. I am happy to, I respond to all of my messages. Them, it may take me a while, but I do respond. I said give me 24 48 hours, okay? Yeah, so that's what I say. So I welcome you guys to do that. I definitely welcome the feedback and the conversation and what you guys would like to hear. How EQ can help me in my relationship. Like, I'm actually having a group coaching that's starting in June that highlights that. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely let me know because that is a hot topic. I did it last year once for 8 weeks. This time I'm only doing it for like 4 weeks or 6 weeks or something like that. And so watch out for the communication on that. If you guys are interested, please let me know. DM, share my website. I think it's on there somewhere, dalereports.com. But I'll see you guys next week, same time, 12:15 Eastern Standard Time. And as usual, give yourself love because you are the most important person in this world. Okay? Bye, you guys. Hasta luego.